welcome back to the Dime Coverage Podcast, the show where we break down the biggest moments in sports and culture. And this week, we've got a massive one because Super Bowl 60 is officially in the books. I'm your host, Lincoln Parks, with Lee Glass and Doc Glass. And if you missed it, you just want to relive every intense moment. We're diving deep into what happened in Santa Clara. The Seattle Seahawks took down the New England Patriots 29-13 to hoist their second Lombardi trophy. Defense was the story. Seattle shut down New England for most of the day, forced multiple turnovers, and turned that pressure into points. Running back Kenneth Walker III delivered a vintage performance and walked away with Super Bowl MVP honors, while kicker Jason Myers made a record-tying 5 field goals. That's a Super Bowl record right there. And the Patriots side, Drake May and company just couldn't find any consistency or rhythm, and the dark side defense. Today, we'll break down key plays, the turning points, what this means for both franchises moving forward, and yes, we're tackling the halftime show, the commercials, and the fan reaction that lit up social media. So grab your coffee, Gracie's Go Juice, your wings, maybe your leftovers from game day snacks, and let's get into our Super Bowl 60. All right, fellas, Super Bowl 60 is in the books, man. Look, I was just, Doc, I was talking to you a little bit before we jumped on live, and my prediction was pretty close. My prediction was pretty close in this game. I had predicted 28-17, the Seahawks, and it was pretty close. But look, man, I was not really, when I saw the score was 9-0 and Drake May was under duress like how he was, I was like, this game is over, man. This is over. I don't see any hope for New England scoring any points in this game because, the defense was just, and obviously you realize the left side of their offensive line, the rookies, man, they was getting abused. They was getting used and abused all night long, and it was like a turnstile. They was getting to Drake May with ease. So yeah, I figured this was gonna happen when it come to the defense. And Lee, I know that really kind of pissed you off, because you was like, shoot, we was the only team in the league, talking about your Rams, that beat them, and then also lost by 2 points or 3 points or whatever it was, 4 points or whatever it was. So I mean, y'all was like right there. So that means what y'all would have did to New England. So, and then these guys in your division. So I feel you on how that feels. That's just like me watching the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh, I'd probably throw up in my mouth, man, if the Dallas Cowboys ever win. I'm telling you, man, that would be sickening. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from on that. But another thing I was talking to Doc about earlier was Stephon Diggs. After the game was really kind of boring for me. But I know for Seattle fans, this was the best game ever, right? But everybody else in the world, it was like whatever. But Stephon Diggs, I didn't pay attention to him because, like I say, the game was kind of, it was kind of whatever. And so usually, as I'm watching the game, I would say, oh, let me see what they doing to Stephon Diggs why he not getting the ball. So they must have been bracketing him pretty good. And then after that, who else you going to pass the ball to? Mac Hollins? There's nobody else, right? Is nobody else who they're going to pass the ball to. And really, after they take Diggs out of the game, I mean, the offense was putrid. So yeah, I don't know. And like I was saying also, it's so difficult to make it back to the Super Bowl. Everybody thinks that, we got a good team. We got everything. We got the coaches. We got the players. We got everybody. Number one offense, this defense and all this. And look, it's just because you got that don't mean you go into the Super Bowl every year. This is without that continuity. When you think back to the Patriots, they had that continuity with the coaching staff. They changed some players in and out right there, but that coaching staff was staying intact, which really helped them out. Nowadays, coaches leaving all the time and players leaving, free agency and that kind of thing. So anyway, man, it was the Super Bowl was what it was. I figured this was going to happen on the defensive side for Seattle, just manhandling them. Hey, what can you say? Congrats to Seattle and Kenneth Walker. Congratulations, man. You really did your thing. So yeah, that's all I got on that.
I like defensive matchups, and so I know it was boring for a whole bunch of other people, but one of the things I found interesting was that uh, Seattle was able to exploit some blocking scheme issues with New England. They didn't go into it too much. Witherspoon kind of hinted at it, but they saw something on tape where if they rush a certain way, they were going to isolate certain people, ain't going to get no help. Just as many times as they was going around the left tackle untouched, they had blitzes coming right down the center of the park. A gap and B gap blitzes that was getting to him unblocked too. So they figured out something with the blocking schemes and how they pass off, and you can't really change that easily mid game if they find like a flaw in your blocking designs. When you have a defensive minded coach and he realized they ain't scoring on my defense, we just need to play field position, kick field goals, they ain't gonna do nothing. So it's like, hey, they taking Jackson Smith and Jigba out the game. We'll just run it. So Kenneth Walker was getting all the carries, appropriately so, because he was being productive running the ball and got that MVP award. But no, it was just you had two good defenses, an okay offense and a good offense. And then that great defense kind of exploited weaknesses of that okay offense, and that's what you end up getting, right? The left tackle having issues, but you got a second year quarterback. He hasn't been in this kind of situation before. They ain't giving him much help. They wasn't giving left tackle much help. And for me, that first drive in the second half when they only went three and out, it's like, oh, y'all can't even make the adjustment. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Like we knew it was over in the first half, but that little bit of hope, yeah, that first three and out, yeah, okay, yeah, they done. So
Real quickly, one thing with the blocking, what I want to find out, when you go here is like, why didn't they chip with a tight end? Why didn't you make some adjustments over there? What's going on?
It's kind of hard to make in-game adjustments on the blocking scheme, right? Once that blocking scheme is set, unless you have some veterans on that line and they understand multiple different blocking scheme concepts over their tenure being in the league, then I could see you making an adjustment like that. But the blocking scheme itself, once you have that game plan set, it's set. Calling specific plays to help get your quarterback out of trouble, a bootleg, and maybe some hot routes. That's something that can be done in game, but that has to be really commanded by the quarterback. So first and foremost, when you have a veteran quarterback, he helps set the protection. You have your center, the center identifies, okay, what they need to do, what they need to double team. And then you also have the quarterback saying, hey, I see, such and such is the mic. I see the blitz coming from such and such side. We need to do this, or we need to audible out of that, right? We're going to get blown up. Let's go to the run. Quarterback needs to do that. But Drake May, you talked about this. He's young. Okay, so you have an inexperienced quarterback coming in. He's not going to be able, especially in the biggest game ever, right? To have that pressure on you, make those adjustments on a consistent basis against the best defense in the league. That's a tall order. Right? So Josh McDaniel, he can't help make those adjustments when they're on the field. He called the play, and then the quarterback needs to be able to identify, okay, what he needs to do and to help protect himself and protect the play at times.
Yeah.
He can't do that. Drake May isn't ready yet. He's not ready to do that. So they were kind of dead in the water. And then you also have poor Will Campbell, the left tackle, the rookie left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got blown up, man. 14 pressures allowed. I think that's a record. Not record. I think that's the most for the season. That's including regular and the playoffs. I think they said it's the most pressure allowed by one offensive lineman since 2018. Yeah, he had a bad go. Now they said that he had a knee ligament issue that kind of came out. I didn't really see him hobbling, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure something was going on.
Right.
And but he was having a hard time all season.
Mhm.
This isn't like a vacuum thing. Like he's been having a hard time with this assignment since week one.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he gets coached up, if he can get better. He's a first round pick.
Yeah.
They're going to need to invest some time in him. But outside of that, Seahawks, man, they deserve it. They were the better team. I think they just had more firepower on both sides. The offense, I give the Patriots defense a lot of credit for holding that offense for the first three quarters.
Yeah.
They just ran out of gas. Ran out of gas.
So
And
much
when we talk about complementary football, the Patriots offense they could not stay on the field long enough to give the defense time to take a break, the time to catch themselves. So that defense is spending so much time on the field. Come the fourth quarter, the floodgates just opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it. Mike McDonald, kudos to him. Heck of a coach.
Yeah.
We all see now why the Ravens defense has tanked since he's left.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
So if anyone's wondering why is the Ravens defense not, what it's been accustomed to from a performance standpoint, Mike McDonald's no longer there. That defense is now being played in Seattle, and
Right.
and we see what his contributions to the Ravens were actually was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you talk about Will Campbell, the internet is brutal, man. The internet
Brutal.
is so brutal. I
Yeah.
mean, they got I saw this one clip. They got Will Campbell out there at the draft. They asked him, what are you gonna do to help the New England Patriots? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna die
For my quarterback. I'll
for my
die for my
quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah.
And then they got him in the Amazon jersey after he was running in the turnstile on Sunday night. On Sunday, man, they got old boy working for Amazon. The internet is crucial, and boy, they don't take it easy on you, man. Not at all.
Yeah. No.
I mean, cruel. But let me ask you guys a question. Do you think, and Lee, this might be a little hard for you, but anyway, do you think that Seattle, with Mike McDonald being there on the defensive side, and I know they lost their offensive coordinator, right? Did they lose their offensive coordinator? Yeah.
Yes, they
Because
did.
he went to the Raiders. He's a Raiders.
Head coach of the Raiders.
Yeah. So with that, is Seattle on the verge of trying to create a mini run for the next couple of years? Or, and can New England do the same thing, with a run? I want to hear what you guys think about this, because with the defense, Mike McDaniel, with the defense, what he got and what they put together, if he keep them dudes, what's my man who was in Dallas? What's his name again? Who on Seattle?
Tank Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. All DeMarcus Lawrence had to do was leave Dallas to win a Super Bowl. That's all he needed to do. Leave Dallas, Super Bowl.
And he said that. He called it.
DeMarcus where too?
And DeMarcus, exactly. Leave there,
Just saying.
leave Dallas, win a Super Bowl. So, but the question is, do you guys think that Seattle is building something with Mike McDonald as a coach, solid coach, man, in, as a little run there?
No.
I know you was going to say it.
No.
Why not?
Hey, look, I know y'all division. I know that NFC West is stout, right? And it's going to be some knockdown, drag out competition for the next couple of years. So anyway, yeah, go ahead, Doc.
I'll let Doc go, and then
Yeah.
I'll give you my insights on it.
I'll answer that. So you look at the 85 Bears. They're called the 85 Bears for a reason. As great as that defense was, they had a one-year run. The Ravens, they had great defenses, won championship. The Legion of Boom made it to 2, got 1, made a bad offensive call, didn't get the second one, but that's it.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
The Bucks with Warren
Bucs.
Sapp.
Yes,
The Bucks, yeah, that's
won,
true.
right?
One.
So
Yeah.
for all these great defenses, they have a 1 to maybe 2-year run, it seems, and then it just seems to dissipate, right?
And
Now,
that's it.
the two other complications for the Seattle, and I want the Seattle fans to know, like, much respect, like, you'll have an awesome team, right? But Clint Kubiak is leaving, so you don't know how the offense is going to go. Could be better, but it may not be as good, right? Which then puts more pressure on the defense. And don't forget, they in the NFC West, they got to deal with the Rams and the Niners as well, right? And they gonna have a first place schedule this coming year. So
Yeah.
So, okay. And not only that, Doc, you got Kenneth Walker, Rashid Shaheed, Tariq Woolen, the cornerback, Josh James, Boyle Maffey, Derek Young, Kobe Bryant, and Josh Jobe. They're all free agents this year.
They all free agents. Okay.
All free agents. So they're going to be losing some pieces.
Yeah.
They're going to be losing some pieces.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Yeah. When you go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna follow up.
So let me jump in then. So I mean, but outside all of that, right? Because I know I'm going to hear it. But Clint Kubiak, losing him, which I'm ecstatic that they lost him as a ramp. I'm like, I was hoping that he was going to get out of there, right? So he's gone. Those teams that Doc was talking about, right? They were all a defensive minded coach, of course. Okay. It's more difficult for a defensive minded coach to find an offensive guy that can play complementary football with his defense. When you do, and you create that synergy, you can create magic like those teams have, that like Seattle has this season as well. But now they got to go out and find another guy, and then that guy got to come in and kind of create that same magic. It's kind of hard to do. It's not impossible, but it's kind of difficult to do. Okay. Darnold is a good quarterback. He played like a top 10 quarterback, especially in the playoffs. Is he going to be able to adjust to a guy that isn't at the same caliber as a Clint Kubiak or as a O'Connell? We don't know. And that's another outlier out there. It's just too many different intangibles there that are unspoken of, that are kind of question marks that we're going to have to figure out first before we can identify the Seattle Seahawks as, okay, they're built for like a destiny run. We're going to see week 1. And I think they're going to be playing the Rams week 1. I'm going to predict that. I think they're going to have Seattle play us week 1.
That's
opening
a big
day.
Yeah.
Opening day. I'm calling that one.
Yeah.
And then we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That question is going to get answered soon.
Yeah.
No, man. And then you're also asking about New England, right? Like New England has pieces in place, but they need more firepower. They need more firepower on the offensive side. They just need some firepower on the defense, but especially on the offense, they need to get Drake May some weapons.
They
Right.
need a receiver.
They need to figure out with Will Campbell, right? And sometimes left tackles have a rough first year. I don't think you give up on him, but you got to keep an eye on him, because if he's struggling first 4, 5, 6 weeks of next season, you may need to shift him to guard and get yourself a left tackle. Right? So you got to figure that out, right? Again, they had a 4th place schedule. Next year, they're going to have a 1st place schedule. They're going up against, they got to go up against Buffalo. And there's still a bunch of really good teams in the AFC. So that is not, people now know what they're in for going up against Patriots. Now, I think that for the Patriots, what works in their favor is you can see where they get better. Like wide receiver, running back, offensive line. They can get a nice edge rusher. Like there's a whole bunch of places where you're like, hey, if they do this should improve their firepower.
Right.
It's hard to take a look at Seattle and be like, what more pieces do they need to add to stay where they are? The issue is how much attrition is there going to be from the free agents going other places, and are they going to be able to plug in people who are able to do the stuff as well, if not better? So
Yeah. Well, check this out. When you have a coach like Mike McDonald, it seems like he can get pretty much some players that he could plug in there. If Lee named off all those free agents that's going to be leaving, and guys now with them winning the Super Bowl, some guys going to want to go to Seattle, and if he could plug in some players, and the coach that he is, he could get the defense to back to where it is.
defense is going to be top 10.
The defense is going to be fine.
Defense is going to be top 10.
I have no questions about the defense.
Defense is going to be top 10.
The defense is going to be okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
The
more
defense
on
gonna
the
be fine.
offensive side where y'all
It's the
thinking.
offensive side.
It's that offensive side. Like I said, with Clint gone, who are they going to come? I was concerned that Cliff Kingsbury was going to actually end up there, because he, up until a couple of days ago, he was still floating around,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, please don't let him go to Seattle, right? So luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah. But check this out also on the flip side. Doc, you was gonna say something, my bad.
No. The nuance of someone like Clint Kubiak, right? That offense moves the ball. But when you think of that Seattle offense, you don't think of them going with these 60 and 70-yard touchdown passes, right? They'll get some chunk plays, but they run the ball. That keeps the defense fresh. If you're trying to air it out and you score on 3 plays, your defense back on the field anyway. So you need someone who's going to push the offense to score, but not be trying to like score in 3-4 plays every possession, because you want to keep your defense off the field enough that when they come on, they can play with reckless abandon, right? You want your defense to go 60 plays on defense, not 80 plays on defense. So you don't want the 3 and outs, but you don't want to necessarily score in 3 plays either. And there was a good mix of them making some big plays, but not always trying to go for broke with JXG and Rashid Shaheen. They'll take their shots, but they're not trying to score in 3 plays every single play. And because they could run the ball, the 2 complementary backs, that's the balance you're looking for. So you don't want someone to come in who's boring calling plays, and then the offense gets stymied. But you don't want someone who doesn't understand, you got to protect my defense, because the defense win in games.
Right.
The defense is the breadwinner here. So you trying to complement the defense.
Right. Yeah. What's gonna be interesting going into this off season is who are they gonna fill in that OC spot there in Seattle. I don't know many coaches that are out there. They may They may bring somebody from within. But what you think? I mean, what coaches are out there right now that
Yeah,
would be a
you got
OC candidate for him?
Patullo.
And let
Yeah,
Patullo go over there.
yeah,
Send
yeah. Let
Patullo.
Patullo go
Yeah,
there.
go over
Yeah,
there,
man.
Patullo. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Patullo will be good.
You deserve a second chance.
He
You deserve a
deserves a
second
chance. Yeah,
chance. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Let him
Like
go there.
Patullo can't even coach middle school right
Is
now.
Nagy looking for a job?
Nagy, I thought Nagy is gonna end up, I believe, with the Raiders. I think he's going to the Raiders.
Kubiak? Okay,
Or I think they're interviewing him.
gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
But I hope he goes to Seattle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say nothing. We'll see who they bring in there. And then last thing that I wanted to bring up real quick, and this on the New England side, I know they had brought in over 30 players. This is what I heard. 30 players revamped the team. Okay. Are these guys free agents? Like, who are they losing? Like who are they gonna lose? Because Patrick Mahomes is gonna be hyped up and ready to go. Travis Kelce is coming back. I don't know why he don't retire. And then
Wait, Kelsey coming back?
he hadn't announced it, but I was watching their podcast and
Stop it.
he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back.
Stop it.
Yeah, he's coming back. And so you got them coming back. You got Denver is gonna be there. I can't put the Bills in there right now. They just, I don't know. They got to do something else. But it's what do those free agents look like on New England side, real quick?
It's not as many, right? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 unrestricted free agents. No big namers.
Okay.
I think Chason, the edge, Chason, he's the biggest name.
Okay.
Austin Hooper, the tight end. Jalen Hawkins, the safety. Lowe, offensive lineman. Tonga, defensive lineman. And Munford, another offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You mentioned Austin Hooper, right? Funny thing, my wife was watching the Super Bowl and my wife was like, wasn't he on the Falcons?
Falcons, yeah.
He was on the Falcons in that 28-3 debacle. She was like, man, it must be him. It must be him why they lose.
No.
Wow.
No. That's messed up. He don't deserve that. You don't deserve that.
But he's a veteran, man. I didn't know he was on that. When I thought about it, when she said it, I was like, oh, man. And so I was like, yeah, that is true. He was on the Falcons back in the day. So, yeah, man. But anyway, all right. So, yeah, Seattle, Super Bowl champs. They did it. And so we got a lot we got to talk about, coming up, the off season, what's going to happen. I want to ask you guys about right now. You're not on this episode, the next episode or an episode after that, but coming up, we're going to talk about like who's your top 10 teams right now. Like the Super Bowl just ended. I want to know who's your top 10 teams going into the next season. So I want you guys to think about that. And then we're going to talk about some offenses, defenses. We're going to talk about a bunch of things coming up, free agency, a lot of stuff coming up. The draft coming up, all that. We got a lot going on. So yeah, man. It was good.
Hold on 1 second. We got
what we got?
I thought we had someone in the chat. No.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a bunch. We got a bunch coming up. So this next episode, we're gonna talk about a lot and get that going. So yeah, man.
Bet.
All right. Well.
All right.
All right, fellas. Yeah, man.
See
Got
you
you on the
later.
next one.
Okay.